Next item, please.
Item 6B, approve design and adopt resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a construction contract with Redgwick Construction for the San Bruno Avenue Street Medians Improvement Project in the amount of $849,878 and approving a construction contingency of $127,482, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract for construction management and inspection services with Park Engineering in an amount not to exceed $86,721, approving a total budget in the amount of $1,248,027 and appropriating $98,027 from the Measure A fund.
Jimmy.
Yes, good evening again. This project in front of you tonight is regards to the award of construction contract for the San Bruno Avenues median project. And back on October 24th of this year, staff came to council to award the same project. However, due to the high project construction costs and lack of available funding, the City Council rejected all bids and directed staff to review the design and repackage and rebid the project into a smaller project in order to reduce the overall project cost. So in addition, the City Council requested staff to look into different streetscapes than what was proposed in the original design document. Initially, the entire project limit is from Interstate 280 to Elm Avenue along San Bruno Avenue. So the current repackaged project limit is from Interstate 280 to Traeger Avenue with other medium portions from Traeger to Acacia and Acacia to Elm, and the median underneath Interstate 280 overpass were included as additive alternates. So this is the project limit now for the project. Staff also reviewed whether leaving some of the existing trees and pouring concrete within the medians in lieu of planting is a viable option. So although it can be done, the overall goal of the project is to enhance the appearance of San Bruno Avenue. Therefore, staff is proposing to keep the design to what was originally proposed and to match the median improvements projects along San Bruno Avenue segments between Skyline and Interstate 280 on and off ramps. So this slide shows the types of improvements that will be included as part of the project. We'll start at the intersection, the on and off ramp at Interstate 280, adding curb ramps, audible, pedestrian push buttons, pedestrian countdown signals assembly. There will be landscaping, trees, shrubs, ground covers with interlocking pavers, which is located just at the end of the medians. At Cherry and San Bruno Avenue, there would be very similar improvements with curb ramps, ped signals, LED countdown as well, and an audible pedestrian push button. Here at the landscaping, the medians, just the east of Cherry Avenue, we'll have pavers as well as the landscaping with trees. There'll be a radar feedback sign that shows how fast the car is traveling on both sides of San Bruno Avenue, and there'll be some curb ramps installed over at Traeger. So the city issued a bid for this project in July and only received one bid from Redgwick Construction. And Redgwick Construction was also the low bidder on the previous bid, where the city had three bids for the project. So the base bid received from Redgwick for this repackaged project is approximately $850,000. And staff reviewed all the bid materials and from this company, and the submitted bid is complete and accurate. So based on our experience and performance with other agencies, staff determined that the company meets the qualification for this project. So in addition to the construction contract, staff is recommending approval of contract with Park Engineering to provide construction management inspection. Due to the federal aid grant requirements, there is a need for a dedicated inspector and construction management firm that has experience in managing the federal aid funded projects to be on the team. And the Park Engineering was the only firm that submitted the proposal previously, with two other firms consultants declining. So staff contacted Park Engineering again to discuss their interest on the project and renegotiated the cost. And they reduced the overall fee by approximately $46,000. The firm is highly qualified and experienced in managing federal aid funded project and has provided construction management inspection services for cities such as Daly City, Menlo Park, and Millbrae. And so in regards to the fiscal impact, the overall cost for this project is about $1.2 million, and there's an additional need of approximately $98,000 to complete this project. And There's an available balance of $286,000 in Measure A funds that can be used for this project. So this concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from council to staff? Irene?
Thank you. I appreciate all the work you did. I know we kind of threw you a curveball when we rejected it the last time, but I do appreciate everything you've done and all the improvements that are going to happen. So I think it's a worthwhile change, and I think we should. I'll wait to see if there's any other comments.
Laura?
I echo the sentiment, and I appreciate you listening to us and coming back to that. I mean, I think we just need to, every decision we make going forward, we need to determine whether we really need it, how we can do it in a less expensive way. Medians are one of those things that I get frustrated with because I see us spend a lot of money in it, and then you look at it, a few years later, and it needs repair, and the weeds have grown, and we don't have the staff to maintain it. So I'm always looking for ideas to minimize any sort of follow-up with staff, irrigation. I mean, with the drought, you see, you go in other cities, not in other cities, not in our city, you see the sprinklers on and they're watering the pavement. It looks beautiful. It's a waste of water, and it's staff's time to actually go and maintain. It actually puts staff out in an area on El Camino that's not safe. It requires more people because of that area. So I'm always looking for ways to better beautify our city in a less cost-effective way and something that doesn't require much maintenance. So, thank you.
Michael?
So, I agree with what Laura just said, and I went back and looked at what we discussed in April, and I think there was 3 points that I took away from our discussion. One of them was that we definitely wanted to focus on safety, and it looks like you are addressing some of the safety issues on there. The other one was that we did not want to use any reserves, and it looks like you've pulled back the cost. We're not using any of the reserves now. The last item was what Laura just brought up about the maintenance, and we said let's avoid putting in trees, shrubs, anything that's going to require that kind of ongoing maintenance and it's going to require water. But I see that piece is still in there. It's probably a lot less of it because we shrunk that project area down enough to get it into the cost, but it's still there, and I'm still concerned that we're putting that in, especially given that we're in a structural deficit. It's going to require staff time, and if we neglect it, it's going to look really bad. So in an attempt to make it look better, we may actually make it look a lot worse in a couple of years. So I'm still concerned about that.
Marty?
I share that concern. And can you go back to the other previous slide that shows that Cherry is also getting the curb ramps? Yeah, okay, so just my other concern with that is the TSPC's lane coming off for the southbound Cherry, that'll mesh with whatever we're doing there so that when there's going to be a new designated lane, left turn pocket there coming southbound, correct?
Correct. That's not going to affect the
Okay.
the geometry of the intersection. It's not
Just
going
want
to
to make sure, like, it's happened before, left hand, right hand, and oh wow, we're digging something else up that we installed. So, do you have the line item bid information on what those different costs would be if we didn't do the landscaping?
Yes.
And approximately how much?
I don't have it with me right now.
Okay.
But one thing that I wanted to mention is, this grant that the city received is for the landscape and pedestrian, enhancements of San Bruno Avenue. So, if the city wants to delete the landscaping out of the project, I don't know whether we would be able to receive the grant for this project.
So the safety features aren't enough to make it a pedestrian-friendly project?
This is something that would have to go back to CCAG to discuss this project. But we're running up to the deadline on this project too to try to get this moving, and yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Marty, were you done?
Yeah, I believe that's what we originally said, that maybe someone was going to talk to CCAG to find out whatever we were going to propose, that it would be eligible for the grant. But, okay, all right.
Through the chair,
Irene?
as a representative of CCAG and as a person who's been on CMAC, which is also runs through these things, the general policy is to include some landscaping. It improves the neighborhood. It helps with air quality. It does more than, it's more than just aesthetics. So I know that the landscaping on this has been minimized, and I'm sure that because let's see, much of the, I'm trying to say this without insulting anybody.
Overabundance of landscaping.
Yeah, there's overabundance, but a lot of the not very attractive aspects of medians are when they do the short shrubs and there's weeds come up. But with the pavers, they eliminate a lot of that. So trees are great, and CCAG is, I will tell you now, definitely would not allow no landscaping, because that's part of it. So, and we are coming up on the deadline. So I would like to recommend that we keep the landscaping in.
Other questions or comments from council?
There it is, all or nothing.
So,
Any additional comments? If not, we would need a motion to adopt the resolution with a second.
I move to adopt the resolution.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Medina.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy.